In the name of God, the most merciful and the most compassionate. Hi everyone, how you doing? The Son and I bade you a warm welcome filled with hopes and dreams. The complex psychology of why people love things. What is it that makes a human decide they prefer one thing to another? What determines people's preferences is a fuzzy, hard to pin down process. In the time of the Facebook thumbs up, what does it mean to like something? What is it that makes humans decide they prefer one thing to another? So that you click replay on one song all day and cover your ears whenever you hear another in public. And how do Netflix and Spotify and other recommendation engines seem to know your taste well or better than you do sometimes? What is the point of liking anything? Sometimes people just prefer the familiar. Sometimes they like what their friends like. Sometimes they pretend to like movies they never really watch or music they don't actually listen to. A lot of the time they can't say why they like something. They just know that they do. A campaign missing out on end of year sale will be a loss. The psychology of losing something weighs more on a person's subconscious than when something is won. Individuals will do anything they can to avoid the loss. What does accounting for taste mean? There is no way to understand why some people like something while other people don't. There is no silver bullet theory for explaining anyone's taste. It's always a mixture of exposure culture or a person's personality. And none of these are particularly static or fixed. The nice thing about tastes is that they are subject to change. When you understand how another person is feeling, you can then adapt your message and communication style to make sure it's received in the best way possible. What makes a song a hit? I'm a firm believer that the top three reasons songs become hits are number one, melody, number two, melody, and number three, melody. I'm not implying that lyrics are not important, but we are not writing poems. It doesn't matter how amazing your lyric is, unless it's melded to a melody that is unforgettable, exceptional, catchy, and fixed in the mind. The dancing melody sways your body and calms your nerves. It drives you to dance all day and all night. How did Despacito become a hit? Despacito quickly began climbing the global charts to become an international hit. The melody gave Despacito the boost it needed to hit number one in the US. 7,910,240,684 views. The two basic elements of music that define melody are pitch and rhythm. Melody is a succession of pitches and rhythm. The melody is usually the most memorable aspect of a song, the one the listener remembers and is able to perform. Why is Shawshank Redemption the best movie ever? Why is it a masterpiece? The Shawshank Redemption is roaring artistic success on every level. It's a simple movie with a deep and everlasting message, and it also teaches some very important life lessons. It focuses attention on the biggest power we humans are born with, the power of hope. The brainwashing techniques. The world is full of shady self-help gurus and workplace seminars telling us how we can turn our lives around just by using the right words. Don't say that she's spoiled. Say it's aged, as if language is a form of magic that can alter reality. But here is the thing. The human brain is an odd glitchy machine that is affected by all sorts of eccentric ways you never thought of. That is why politicians and salespeople can trick you into going along with them just by toying with the word that they use. Repeating your opinion makes people believe it, no matter how stupid it is. For example, how many of you think Al Gore claims to have invented the internet? He said no such a thing, but pundits and comedians repeated it enough that it became a truth. It's the same reason anti-vaccination zealots stick to their guns, even if they cause diseases to spread like wildfire. They heard the vaccines were dangerous, and that is literally all it takes. Hearing it over and over, even if the source is a total stranger or an idiot. Brainwashing is the concept that the human mind can be altered or controlled by certain psychological techniques. An important component of successful marketing is understanding how and why people think and act in certain ways. Marketing psychology attempts to understand the way that consumers think, feel, reason, and make decisions. The goal of marketing is to convince people and make a calculated emotional appeal, which can be just what you need to land a lasting customers. It's always important to remember that you are dealing with people. People are emotional. Exclusivity scarcity. Exclusive products appeal to people who wish to seek status or establish their uniqueness because they are seen to be of higher value. In this case, rarity implies value. In order to show exclusivity scarcity, you could: number one, highlight lines of products that are one of a kind. Two, send exclusive updates to your members. Three, place product tags like limited edition or short supply over your scarce products. The status appeal speaks to consumers who wanted to identify themselves with the higher class, which is why it is also known as the snob appeal. It's generally used to promote high-end products like handbags, watches, or cars. How do food trends become popular? A chia seed popularity can be traced to the book Born to Run about a Mexican tribe of super runners who eat chia. The running community and other health conscious groups took note, and now chia is a sought after ingredient. What makes a teacher legendary? Great teachers bring out the best in their students by challenging them to think for themselves, be creative, and live up to a high set of expectations. They place value in effort and deliver praise accordingly, providing appropriate challenges for students of varying skill levels and never giving up on underachievers. A smart teacher can brainwash them into believing that he is the only one who can make them achieve great success. The characteristics of effective teaching include an engaging classroom presence, value in real-world learning, exchange of best practices, and a lifelong love of learning. Decisions are emotional. The decision-making process is emotionally driven. Even people that pride themselves on being rational aren't immune. We all make decisions based on two things: what satisfies our needs and what aligns with how we are. Marketers would be wise to try to elicit an emotional response from potential customers. Now that you know the power of emotional persuasion, the next step is learning exactly how to use psychological emotions to persuade people. With God's permission, in our next video, we will show you how to use psychological emotions to persuade people and know the secret rule of the game. Helping others give us a sense of connectedness, happiness, fulfillment, and meaning. I have surrendered to the Lord of the worlds. بريك عليك سيد أبو المجد.